Hello, everyone, and welcome to this audio fan commentary on Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest. Released in 2006, and is the second film of the Pirates of the Caribbean film series. This was directed by Gore Verbinski and starring Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, and Keira Knightley. We did do commentaries on the other films in the series, I believe, all four actually of the other films we did a while ago, and this is the last one that we haven't done, just to complete the set, so to speak. I'm joined by my friend Jack, the film fanatic, as usual, and today we're going to be watching and commentating. As usual, this is profit commentary. We're just fans doing this for fun. We're not financial gain, so please assume that. If you want to watch along with us and follow along, that's fine. Put your Blu-ray or DVD in and set your timestamp to 0, and then press play when we press play. Yeah, that's kind of it. Jack, is there anything you want to say before we start?
No, not really. No.
Right. Excuse me. I just got to blow my nose for a second. Right. Excuse me. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Do you want to do the countdown, or shall I?
You can do it.
All right.
It's your favorite parts.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. It is my favorite Pirates film. Okay. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, actually, yeah, this was the first Disney film to use that new like logo or intro, should we say?
Yeah. I remember seeing this in the cinema back in, what was it, 2006? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was really hyped for it because I had the first one on DVD and I loved the first one. And it felt like it was only 3 years between this and the second one, but for me, like as a little kid, it felt like forever. But
yeah,
when the film finally
came out, the time does go slower.
Yeah, but when it finally came out, I remember as a kid watching it in cinema and loving it. But yeah,
I love the intro of this film. How we get the logo there on the water, and then how it starts actually quite bleak with the wedding of Will and Elizabeth. I mean, it's not like anybody might like their characters anyway, but the fact that it literally starts with with Beckett invading Port Royal and taking control.
yeah. There's some nice shots here. The wedding, like all the rain and stuff.
It's actually quite a somber way to open the film, which is surprising. Because when I was a kid, I was kind of confused as to why it was raining and why she looked a bit down. It's really because it's her wedding day, but yeah, no one expected these people to turn up. But
yeah. This was definitely Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. You first. Sorry, my fault.
No, sorry. No, I wasn't really going to stand in.
I was just going to say I like how Beckett is introduced there when he's riding the horse across the beach. So we immediately know that guy's going to be the villain the next 2 films actually.
Yeah, I think Beckett's probably my favorite Pirates of the Caribbean villain, just because he doesn't have to like raise his voice or anything. He's quite sinister, like you know.
I think he's the most underrated villain.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Tom Hollander is a very good performance.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just to clarify to the viewers, that's Tom Hollander, not Tom Holland.
Yeah. But he's been in a lot of things. He's a really good actor, Tom Hollander, and I think he's really good as Beckett because, like, you know, he's just. I mean, his character's an absolute bastard. You know, he uses everybody and he manipulates people, and
Like his power is in his words and the way he speaks to people and the way he treats them. Sometimes that's more powerful than brute force or physical status, shall we say?
Yeah, that's what I like him. He's not like a shouty villain. He's not like oh, I'm a villain. I'm going to shout. I'm going to be evil. He's just kind of quite sinister. Quite doesn't raise his voice a lot. He's just sort of quiet, contained menace about him. That's what I really like about Beckett. But yeah.
I think what's good about this film is the way it opens directly after the first one. Really, I mean, it's the repercussions of the first film are coming back on Will and Elizabeth, which in a way is good. Like it didn't. I mean, you thought they had a happy ending, but no, it's like the East India Trading Company are going to try and imprison them for helping Jack, which is interesting. And so everybody has their own personal goal in this film, which I think is interesting. I know people criticize it for being convoluted, but at least they took the time to try and develop every character. And immediately also, we get the sense that this is a much darker movie than the first one. I mean, that becomes apparent from this scene onwards. I mean, this is potentially the scariest and the darkest of the 5 movies. But not that any of them lack any tension, of course. But yeah, I mean, in this scene alone, someone's eye gets taken out. It's very, very brutal. I mean, this is a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but they're trying to make it a bit more of a darker, complex epic, I think. Whereas the first one was like a fun romp. Ugh. But I mean, I actually like that because this is my favorite of the franchise, and I think it expands the universe very well, and it tells the story brilliantly. I mean, it's only half a story actually. I mean, the film continues in the third one, but I like the way Jack Sparrow is introduced as well. He's in the coffin. Yeah. I don't know if that foreshadows the end of the film, but I suppose it kind of does.
Did we do a commentary in the first one?
I think we did. If we didn't, then we must do one.
Yeah, because I can't find it in the playlist. But
right. I mean, at this point, Johnny Depp is still very much in character and does it very well. It's only as it goes on. I think when you get to the 4th one on Stranger Tides, that's when he starts to kind of become quite formulaic, and the 5th one is completely all over the place. But as of now, it's fine.
Yeah, this is a nice way to introduce his character. In this one, like reintroduce him to the audience.
I remember seeing this part in the cinema, and I think the audience actually cheered when he turned up because the first one was so good, and he did a great job with that character, and the music as well is brilliant.
Quite complications arose, ensued, were overcome. Not what you went in for, then.
I mean, his accent I always find a little bit weird.
Johnny Depp's accent.
Sometimes it could sound a little bit Australian. But
yeah, I mean, people have often said that he's doing a Keith Richards impression, and there's definitely some influence there. But in terms of the Australian, perhaps it maybe slips into that one, the odd word, but it's not too bad. I mean, I just assumed he was doing some kind of Cockney voice, or just basically Keith Richards. But I think it works well enough.
What did the bird say? Name the bird. Show us what is on that block.
That monkey causes nothing but problems.
Yeah. You kind of knew Barbosa was going to come back because that monkey is
Drawing of a king.
still a skeleton and it's still around. Like, at the
Yeah,
end of the first one,
Gentlemen,
he says, "Oh, I feel cold," and then he dies, and
he's
you think that's it. But sort of like, kind
things
of foreshadowing his return at the end of this.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
So
I'm actually glad they brought him back because he was so good in the first one,
Yeah,
and actually he became a real asset to the third one as well.
yeah.
Without first having found the key, so we're going after this key. You're not making any sense. Any more questions? So we have a heading. Set sail.
It's funny, he's got such a reputation, yet he's like kind of the worst pirate there is.
Come on, snap to and make
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, what bit of you on?
The bit when they say, "Oh, he's acting a bit strange." It's 9 minutes in. Why are you not on the same bit?
I know, I am. Yeah. Kevin McNally.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's weird to think that he was in Doctor Who back in the day, but thankfully, him being in this series of films made up for that.
Yeah. No offense, he was kind of. No offense, he was kind of shit in the Twin Dilemma, but
Yeah, well, everything was kind of shit in the Twin Dilemma, to be fair,
yeah.
except Nicola Bryant.
With our mutual friend, Captain Sparrow.
More acquaintance than friend.
We've had
I think Orlando Bloom is one of the weaker parts of this film, though. As much as I love this film, Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley have never given polished performances in the pirate films.
by your efforts, Jack Sparrow was set free.
Yeah,
Go to him and recover us.
that's true.
He's just a bit wet, a bit drippy. He doesn't emote as much as he could. I mean, in the first one, they're not too bad, but second and third, they're just a bit.
Lessons of the month. You will offer what amounts to
Yeah.
Jack free. Privateer. Employed.
Somehow I doubt Jack would consider employment the same.
Yeah.
Jack Sparrow is a dying breed. The world is shrinking. Edges of the map filled in. Jack
Yeah.
It's just a shame. I think Beckett doesn't get a huge amount to do in this film. He's kind of more active in the third film, but
you and your fiancée.
that's he's still good that we get to see him in this one. How he takes control over everyone and everything.
Black Pearl. What do you want that he possesses? A ship, hardly. The item in question is considerably smaller and far more valuable. Something Sparrow keeps on his person.
No, I really like Beckett, and I really like how he's sort of trying to help out Will. Like, well, I mean, not really help him out, but he's offering him,
Freedom.
an ultimatum. Yeah.
It's funny how Will's story kind of gets more complicated in this one when he meets his dad.
Yeah. And his dad probably kind of shocked that, his
Yeah,
son found him.
where's the rum? Always gone.
Yeah. It is quite funny later on when he meets Elizabeth again. He's like, hide the rum.
Hide the rum. Yeah.
Because you burnt it all in the first one.
Oh god,
The
yeah.
Island.
Yeah. That was quite funny, actually. Due diligence. The lighting, well, I don't even think you could really say there's any lighting. It's very dark, but this film is knowingly a lot darker than the first one.
Yeah.
Ugh. Lovely.
The first one was pretty dark as well, with the whole undead, thing.
Time's run out, Jack.
I think this one is scarier, personally, because of the look of Jones's crew and all the. Like, Bootstrap Bill creeped me out when I was a kid because of how practical the effects look, and how all the barnacles are on his body. But I think Stellan Skarsgård gives a good performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look good, Jack.
God, could you imagine him singing Mamma Mia songs to Jack?
Yeah. We can go dancing, we can go walking.
Where they be wrong.
It's so weird in Mamma Mia when Julie Walters is singing "Take a Chance on Me" to Stellan Skarsgård. It's just so weird. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Still, I'd rather watch that than
Well,
Piers Brosnan singing SOS.
Yeah. The Mamma Mia films are just crap.
Yeah.
You see what do I have the pleasure of?
Your carbuncle.
He sent me. Davy John.
Take a chance on me.
So it's you then. Shanghaied you into
Davy.
Davy Jones.
I'm sorry for the part I played in the mutiny.
I must admit though, I think. Sorry, go on.
I stood up for you.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. After you.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Strapped me to the cannon. Ended up on the bottom of the ocean.
It's amazing how good the effects are actually in this film. I don't know. I think this film was either nominated or it won an Oscar for visual effects because of Davy Jones, the motion capture that they used.
Yeah.
Shake it.
No, I do like the look of their crew, but yeah.
It's funny what a man will do before his final judgment. You made it.
This is definitely
Raised the
a
bar.
pretty watchable Pirates of the Caribbean film. It's not my favorite of the series, but
Right.
I do enjoy this one anyway.
It's still your least favorite of the series.
Apply to me, apply to you as well. So,
Yeah, probably, yeah.
100 years of punishment.
Fair enough. I can understand people's criticisms.
And then it's a locker for you.
Or I might need to rewatch On Stranger Tides because that wasn't very. Well, that wasn't the best either.
Release said terrible beast.
Yeah, terrible beastie. Well, I think Depp's performance is at its best in the first two, and the third is still good as well. But 4 is okay, and then 5 is like, oh yeah, he's not great.
Yeah, I just think the whole drunk stuff got a bit boring after a while.
Yeah, it almost became a caricature of the original character. I don't think we've ever seen Jack Sparrow shit himself until now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Robert De Niro was originally offered the role of Jack Sparrow in the first one, but turned it down.
I could never see him do that. Although actually, he did play a sort of a pirate character in the film Stardust. Although the character was actually gay and danced around in a tutu on one of the scenes, which is actually remarkably funny, considering when you look at what Robert De Niro's done in his career. Yeah, but still, this is so weird.
Run.
Run.
Back to your stations. The lot of you.
I don't think it would have worked with him as Jack. Could you imagine like Davy Jones trying to threaten like Robert De Niro? Just wouldn't work. He'd be like,
Yeah,
fucking mafia.
I can't see it working, to be honest. I guess also the fact is Robert De Niro is probably a bit too old to play that character. He wouldn't have been able to do many physical things, whereas Johnny Depp's a bit younger. mean, now I think Johnny Depp is in his is in his 50s, I think. So yeah, you'd have to sort of call it quits one day. But yeah.
In a few years, he'll be 60, so he should really sort of hang up the sword.
Mm. Oh yeah,
I always wanted to see.
There's one thing you gotta love about Dead Man's Chest. It's the Kraken. The Kraken is fucking awesome. so good.
I need
Release the Kraken.
Bill Mitchell versus the Kraken.
I mean, we'll see it in its full speed later on when it devours the ship, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan Pryce is Governor Swan. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
The Price is Right.
Yeah. Don't these two look like they're in love?
Keira Knightley is fucking hot in this.
She is. I think she's actually a lot younger than she looks. I think in the first one she was like in a, I think she was 20 or probably a bit younger. Whereas this, I think she's in her early 20s, but you wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah, I mean, bloody hell, she was sexy as hell in the first one.
Yeah. I think she's very attractive in that dress.
Parlay.
Parlay.
Hello, Bobby.
Yeah, which is funny because in this film she dresses up as a man for half of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sad what happens to Jonathan Pryce's character in the third one.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a bit of a shame.
Because, I mean, I always liked this character, and the way he dies is kind of sad.
Yeah, even though he's not really in the second one that much either.
Yeah.
The lengths that Will goes to find Jack is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, he said Tortuga?
Yeah. Jack Sparrow.
Maybe he finds him.
But you find a ship there. A ship with black sails.
It's just
the stuff on the island.
Random cannibal island.
Yeah, it's quite funny, the stuff on the island, but it is a bit random. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is funny. Perhaps it does go on a bit, but it is it is entertaining.
And then when the Islanders are going to eat the dog, that was interesting.
I don't understand why he doesn't just take him to the shore. I know he's French and he doesn't understand him, but was it meant to be a joke or something? I never really got that bit. Why he didn't just go further and Will had to swim the rest of the way there. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I think the quality on Blu-ray is amazing. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, everything's better in Blu-ray.
Even your mom, man.
Yeah. Blue gay.
Oh, the parrot, yeah.
No, the quality's pictures are crystal clear.
Yeah, for a film released in 2006, it still looks pretty current as well. It doesn't actually feel like it was released that long ago.
Yeah. I mean, bloody hell, yeah, 14 years ago.
That's crazy. same year Casino Royale was released.
Yeah, well, obviously Casino Royale's the better of the two, but
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah.
That's pretty
Oh,
freaky,
Jesus.
actually. I mean, when I was younger, that made me jump. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Actually, you know,
Well done.
these cannibals are pretty damn scary.
Yeah. It's interesting that Gore Verbinski directed the first three, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he didn't do the fourth one because he was directing Rango, so he didn't want to commit to the fourth Pirates, and I guess he sort of felt like he was done after the third one. But yeah.
Rango's actually quite good.
Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed Rango, and Johnny Depp voices the lizard Rango.
Yeah. Did a really good job with the sets and costumes in this film.
Oh yeah, I love Jack's cannibal makeup as well, and like the fact that his eyelids actually have eyes drawn on them.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I'm glad to see you.
Now, you know, that's the best bit of acting from Orlando Bloom in the film, which is a shame.
You can tell Johnny Depp had a lot of fun doing these films.
Well done.
Yeah. I mean, it was sort of the role that made him big, really. Actually, same for Keira Knightley. She became more famous after these films.
Yeah. The only thing really she was in before that was like Bend It Like Beckham, I think. But yeah.
Unique. Yeah, actually, I do really like Bend It Like Beckham. That's a great movie. Just from a cultural aspect as well. We actually watched it in our religious studies lesson when I was in school. I mean, Keira Knightley's role is good, actually. It's just certain things Keira Knightley's in. She's just occasionally kind of wooden, and she's good in all those period dramas and stuff. But in Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't know. I've never been a fan of her performance.
Yeah. No, I think she's a good actress, but like Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah, she wasn't really great. It was funny, like when Mark Mood was talking about her and his at World's End review or whatever, he said it's like two chairs meeting.
Yeah. So I'm sure she's a lovely girl in real life, and she's a very pretty girl. So no wonder they cast her.
Yeah.
It is actually kind of amazing how they shot these 2 and 3 back to back.
Yeah, that is quite impressive. I mean, considering they're both very long films.
Yeah.
The third one's even longer.
Yeah. I think it was the studio. Disney said to Gore Verbinski, because the first one was so successful, we were already going to greenlight 2 of these 2 sequels, and we want you to do them back to back to get them out quicker. And no wonder.
It's kind of a shame they didn't do Bond 25 back to back after Spectre, but I think Craig said they didn't want to do that. Yeah,
no, Craig said it's hard enough to make one of these, let alone 2 of them back to back would have been really hard. So, which is fair enough. But then again, Lord of the Rings proved that you can do it, but it just depends, on how much people can.
Well, and they have done. Well, they have done it before in Bond. Like they're living that down, and you man the Golden Gun like a year later. So
yeah. I mean, the only other time when I think it's been done is the Matrix trilogy, where the 2 sequels were actually released in the same year, and they were filmed concurrently. I mean, the sequels are crap anyway, so it
No doubt you
doesn't
discovered
matter.
that loyalty is no longer the currency.
Lord of the Rings, they filmed that all back to back, didn't they?
Yeah, it was greenlit as 3 movies. So the principal photography for like all 3 films was done at once.
It's amazing how he made such a brilliant trilogy back to back. I mean, especially like films that were 3 hours each. You'd think he'd be exhausted, like to do them back to back.
Yeah. Oh, they were
release them
exhausted.
year-
Definitely, but what kept them going was the fact that they were so passionate about it, and that showed on screen. There was so much love that went into it, and you can't really go wrong there. And they actually did things that no one expected, like the the technology side of things with Gollum. No one thought that was going to work, but they did it. They did it amazingly. So, I mean, those films really changed the film industry. And launched the whole motion capture phase as well with Andy Serkis. We have to thank them for that.
A day at the circus.
Day in the Andy Serkis.
My desires and there's more than one chest of value.
No, I really love the set design of the Pirates films, like the costumes. That they all they put a lot of detail into them. Like you have to sort of tip the hat to the costume and designers.
Yeah. It's amazing how Beckett isn't really intimidated by Elizabeth.
Well, I suppose because, let's be honest, Keira Knightley's not that threatening.
Yeah.
Maybe she may have a gun, but I don't think Elizabeth as a character is that intimidating.
I love that shot of him in the dark, so half in the dark and half in the candlelight, when he says, "I still want that compass. Consider that into your calculations." I think
I think he sort of intimidated her there, the way she kind of ran out the door and she looked at him like,
Yeah, I think he's manipulating all of them. I mean, in the end, how would they know that he's going to guarantee their freedom? He just wants what he wants, just to control the sea. So either way, they're prisoners for life, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a shame these characters weren't in the later Pirates films. They weren't in the. Was the third one their last one? I think.
I believe so.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't bring them back.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of. I mean, after Jack and the others, they're kind of the sort of comedic duo that you see throughout the trilogy.
Yeah, they are actually quite good. I mean, to be fair, I mean, you could argue that they are just shoehorned into this film, but they're such a good pair, so it's good that they came back, and they're actually good guys in this one, which is nice.
Yeah.
Well, that dog keeps coming back. It's sad actually how that dog gets captured by the cannibals, and then they make the dog the chief.
Yeah. It's funny, yeah. Oh, I forget the actor's name. Is it Mackenzie something or?
Yes, Mackenzie Crook. Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually quite a good actor. He's been in quite a few things, but yeah.
Yeah. And it's actually nice to have a comedy duo, like some comedic characters other than Jack as well, for a change. So he doesn't always get the best moments. I think those two do steal the scenes at some point, which is good.
Yeah. Kind of weird how you become, the chief of this cannibal island.
Oh, toes. It's very realistic. I'll give him that. Ugh.
Why would he eat that? Ugh.
Yeah.
Jack is the chief.
Jack's just weird, I think.
I bet you that tool they gave him was probably just like a bit of cake or something in real life, like marzipan that looked like made it look like a real toe or something.
Yeah, or was like a bit of rubber or plastic or something. They just put the nail on it.
Yeah.
The little guy, he comes back for the 5th one, actually.
These cages we're in weren't built to
Yeah.
Oh,
Feast is about to
it weren't
begin.
built till after we got here.
Just life again. Drugs.
You know, in some ways, Gibbs is probably smarter than Jack.
Yeah, it's almost like his voice of reason at times.
Yeah.
Forward! Big fire! Big fire!
The thing about Jack is he's a bit of an idiot sometimes. Like,
Yeah, he's a scoundrel and a wastrel, and he's not. I mean, the whole thing was built up that he is like he has a reputation of being a great pirate, but when he's in reality, he's actually not.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Norrington even says in the first one, "No, you're just about the worst pirate I've ever met."
Oh yes, yeah, Norrington. We will be seeing Norrington again later.
You kind of feel bad for Norrington because he's going to get married to Elizabeth, and that kind of went tits up, and his whole career was kind of messed up.
Mm. I mean, I don't think Elizabeth ever loved Norrington, but she was definitely promised to him, and you know, he definitely had feelings for her. It's funny because Jack, Will, and Norrington will get into a fight later on. All 3 of those men have actually kissed Elizabeth, which is ironic.
Yeah.
East India Trading Company.
I mean, maybe she did love him at one point, but then Will sort of came into her life, so she kind of fancied him more.
I think I don't know if Elizabeth ever did love Norrington, because in the first scene of the first film, Elizabeth's a little girl, but Norrington's a grown man, so I think there's a bit of an age difference. But yeah,
yeah, it's kind of weird though, because in the because in the first one, they've aged Elizabeth, but they haven't really aged Norrington. It's like it's almost like Norrington stayed the same age.
Yeah, I think they just gave him a new wig.
Yeah. It's kind of funny thing.
This is an amusing scene. It's amazing that this actually works, but in a way, it's sort of plausible that it could actually work.
It's kind of funny. You don't really see Orlando Bloom in anything anymore. Like, the 2000s was a pretty big decade for him because he had the Pirates films and Lord of the Rings. But since then, he hasn't really appeared in anything.
He came back from The Hobbit, but I think he's been in the odd little thing here and there. But yeah, you don't see him much anymore. I mean, now he's got a sort of a son. But I mean, Lord of the Rings was like his first film as well, so that was his big break, and he was great in that film.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, he's a pretty boy, so he's bound to get work. It's just funny that we don't see him as much anymore. Maybe he's sort of yesterday's news. Because obviously when Lord of the Rings came out in the early 2000s, he was really big, but now not so much because we're in the 2020s, 20 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, next year's going to be the 20th anniversary of Fellowship.
Oh yeah, that's crazy to think that will be 20 years old, but it doesn't look 20 years old.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Whoopsie.
God, I mean, that cannibal with the bone for his tongue looks really sore.
Yeah. It's like they put it through his skin. mean, all the cannibals look realistic, like the makeup and all the props on them look. Ugh, it's really creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Oopsie.
funny afterwards. It's funny afterwards where he gets the watermelons on the pole and
Yeah, he ends up having like a fruit kebab.
yeah.
I don't know how this even works. I mean, he's just so lucky.
Yeah.
And they obviously didn't do a good enough job tying him up.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it seems a bit convenient how he gets out of that, but yeah.
Not gonna lie, this is a pretty fun action scene.
Yeah.
And the music is great by Hans Zimmer.
Ooh, oh. Yeah, he does a lot of soundtracks. I mean, he's doing a new Bond one as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what he's come up with for No Time to Die. Live the cage!
Yeah. I wonder what happened to David Arnold when it came to soundtracks. Like Quantum was the last one he did, and then hasn't really done one since. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's probably done other films, but not in recent years. I mean, Michael Giacchino has been getting so much work, so he'll probably do a Bond score at some point.
yeah.
What?
The fruit kebab stuff, yeah.
God.
The coconut.
This must have been very awkward to film, actually, because to get him to actually, you know, work with the pole on his back must have actually caused him back problems.
Yeah.
But depending how long, obviously, he was doing.
Like, where was this film? Like Jamaica or something like that? Or
I would imagine so. I mean, they definitely went to the Caribbean to film, but I'm not entirely sure.
it's funny, we call Pirates of the Caribbean, but the Americans like say Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. That's their accent, isn't it?
Yeah. I always found it funny because I thought everybody said Pirates of the Caribbean or like Caribbean, but the Americans are like Caribbean. Well, fruit kebab.
I love that.
It looks like one of those like yeah, one of those kebabs that you have with all the fruit and chicken and stuff on it.
I do love me a good kebab. Not so much the fruit kebab, but I do like a good kebab from the kebab shop.
Whoa! That is kind of ridiculous how he does that.
Yeah, it is unrealistic, but hey ho, it's a film about pirates.
Yeah, like he survived that.
Yeah. Bugger. Yeah. He does fall from quite a height. It is amazing how he survives, to be fair. I mean, he doesn't have the softest landings.
He's hit that many planks, you'd think he'd be dead by now.
You think he would have a chronic back pain or something after that?
Yeah, splinters up his arse. Yeah, that's a running joke of the films. He always loses his wooden eye.
Yeah. It's amazing how he sees out of it if it's wood. Oh yeah, and the eye becomes
Well,
one of the pieces of 8, doesn't it? Of the in the third film.
yeah. Well, I don't think he does see out of it, but he just has a wooden eye or whatever.
Just to fill in his eye hole.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Ah.
Da, 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 da.
Bam, boom, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Jack is just a riot as a character.
Well, they all don't want him to leave.
Alas, my children, this is the day you should always remember as the day that you almost
God.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Well, at least I got rid of some
He
of his
was just a-
makeup.
Always has to do that stupid speech.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Who let the dog out?
Oh. I hope they say no animals were harmed in the making of this film.
I always felt bad for that dog when I was watching the film.
Although actually, it's funny, that dog escapes. It makes its way to Shipwreck Cove. It's in the third film.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit disgusting.
Yeah, I mean Orlando Bloom's all right in the Pirates films. He just doesn't really.
He's a bit one note, I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Travel up river.
Gibbs is one of my favorite characters.
And he's one of the only characters that's been in all 5 movies as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's sort of, Captain Jack's first mate, I guess.
Yeah. Very loyal first mate.
Yeah, because that's the thing in the series. Everybody else abandons Jack or fucks off. He's the only one who stays.
Yeah, because funny how many times Will and Jack actually, Will doesn't trust Jack, especially in the first film.
Yeah.
Actually, in this one, Jack uses Will and leaves him stranded on the Dutchman.
Yeah.
Jack actually is kind of selfish in this film. He uses everyone. He even lies to Elizabeth about Will. So.
Although saying that, Elizabeth's a total bitch in this film. The way she just she leaves Jack on the boat to get sacrificed to the Kraken, and then she kisses him, and then she says, "Oh, I'm not sorry." Oh, you're not sorry. You're gonna condemn man to death,
Yeah, and then I mean the fact that Will sees them kissing, and then he doesn't react. I mean, he looks a bit puzzled, but he doesn't look angry as such. I mean,
you
even
should have said something like, "Why the hell?"
It's like he's just found out CBeebies has gone off air.
Oh, Mark Kermode said that.
Yeah, in his review, he said, "Oh, it looks like he's just found out CBeebies has gone off air for a few weeks." His reaction is so, half baked.
Not only that, but it's he doesn't even ask why did you leave Jack on the ship?
Yeah, he only asks her in the third film when they're below decks.
This is quite interesting. How did nobody notice though that she was a woman? I mean, the way she looks and everything, you just tell.
Yeah, it's true.
Even with her hair back like that, you just tell it's a woman.
She's probably naked. It's funny how they think that the dress is like an evil omen spirit or something.
He's probably naked. They all start scrambling, like looking for her. Like,
I actually quite like this scene when we get to see Tia Dalma, or Calypso, as she's later known as, played by Naomi Harris, actually, or who's our current Miss Moneypenny.
yeah, I didn't know it was the same actress, Naomi Harris, in Skyfall until like years later. Because when you watch her in this film and then you watch her in Skyfall, she looks so different. Like, she sounds different. Like, I mean, in this film she's got like terrible teeth and she's got that sort of Jamaican accent. And then Skyfall, she's she looks great, but
Yeah, and she puts on a Jamaican accent for this role as well.
yeah, but she's really good in this film.
Yeah, she is. And actually, I think she did explain in a No Time to Die promotional, actually during the live reveal, well, which wasn't her live reveal in the end, but she said she has Jamaican roots, so that's probably why she does the accent so well. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't get to really find out much about her in this film. She's only in the film like for 2 scenes, but she's in the third one a lot more. So that's when we find out about her. But she's a very good character.
Yeah. Yeah, her character's interesting.
Very creepy, very mysterious.
Travel the earth to find you.
Yeah, you know of Davy Jones, a great sailor. That's front I'm worried about.
I got a charger. Later on. I mean, they did a really good job with all the sets here, and
I agree. I mean, her little shack is actually is quite interesting.
yeah, it's kind of funny how you find out her character is, the one that Davy Jones loved, and that she's Calypso, and they release her back into the sea. Ooh. She's kind of perving on Will.
Yeah. William Durna.
Suppose because he's a handsome guy. God.
Yeah, I mean, she's all alone in that shack. She needs an occasional toy boy.
Occasional fucking.
I mean, she is a sea goddess after all.
Oh, I wouldn't mind fucking her, but her teeth are terrible.
Yeah. You know I'm James Bond, a great spy. If you look closely, you can see the shot of Barbossa's feet, actually.
You can see what?
And when the monkey runs into the room, you can see Barbossa's feet, like his legs.
All right. Is that like a continuity goof then?
Yeah.
This is definitely sort of interesting that she just gives him a jar of dirt. It's like,
Yeah. I suppose it's
all
quite
this
random.
way for a fucking.
I guess she realizes that in order to sort of smuggle the heart, it would be easier to put it in a jar of dirt because then it can't be seen if by prying eyes, so to speak. But of course, as we find out, Norrington actually steals the heart in the end. But
I mean, it is a bit of a waste of time to go there just to get a fucking jar dirt.
But I think they actually just go
Dude.
for information. I think because Jack wants to, just confirm about Davy Jones because they want to know where the key is. I think that's why he goes to her. It was a woman.
Naomi Harris is very good in these films.
Oh yes, yeah. For her brief appearances, she's very good.
I mean, I know Kermode hates the Pirates films, but do you think Naomi Harris was good? Or
He didn't really say much about her, to be fair. It is an interesting concept though, with Davy Jones, how he actually physically cut his heart out and put it inside a chest because he was heartbroken. Literally, it's kind of, I find that interesting. His backstory, it's quite tragic, really.
You wonder how he did that though, without dying.
I guess by the time he turned into a squid monster, it didn't really matter. Well, maybe actually he cut it out, and then Calypso just allowed him to live without the heart inside him. I'm assuming that's how it worked, but they don't really explain too much about the animatical side of it. But still.
I was wondering though, like when he fell in love, like did he fall in love with like Calypso in the human form or like the form at sea?
Well, I imagine she would have been in human form, or she could transfer her forms. But of course, after what she did to him, and they chose to bind her in human form forever. So, but I'm assuming they must have met when she was in human form, because otherwise, like, how else? I don't know how else.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that Jack's black spot is literally like a black spot on his hand, like because I mean a black spot was actually a pirate thing, like it was like a piece of paper with a black spot on it. It just meant you were marked for death. But yeah, here it's like literally he's got a black spot, on his hand. Like, yeah.
It's a jar of dirt.
It is kind of pointless. It's like, you come all this way for a fucking jar of dirt.
Yeah. Well, I think they came all that way just for information about the key. But yeah, I think she gave that to them as like an asset to place the heart in. But,
yeah. Oh.
But now we get to finally meet our main villain, Davy Jones.
Davy Jones.
That's the Flying Dutchman. Doesn't look like much.
Neither do you.
Most of them fell at the reef. So what's your plan?
Gibbs.
Till I find your bloody key.
I cut down anyone who might come. I like it. Simple.
Yeah. By that will.
Yeah.
Cut down anyone in their path. Put a bit more into it, Orlando.
Yeah. Jack saying that to Will, Jack Sparrow would still his debt. I'm amazed that Will actually has the audacity to use that. How he falls for that. Because that's such a dick move for Jack to say. Basically, can you just say that you're here to settle my debt, so then I don't have to, worry about that. What an arsehole.
Yeah, basically, sacrifice yourself, mate.
Yeah, it's not enough that you have to go and get the key, but Will, can you just save my ass? Yeah, basically.
Oh, doesn't Jones say you need 99 souls by
3 days?
A couple of days. 3 days, yeah.
Yeah. This is quite a scary scene, actually. I sort of feel sorry for the crewmen that are here And when we see the Dutchman, and then we see Davy Jones, I think the way he's introduced is really scary, actually.
No. Please.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird. Like it seems like with each Pirates film, the gap between the sequels is getting bigger because you had the first one in 2003, second one 2006, third one 2007, fourth one 2011, the fifth one 2017, and you haven't even got the sixth one yet. So I wonder when that's going to come out. Another 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't felt like 3 years, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh. The effects are really good for these guys.
Yeah. Oh, he's got
that not damage the sword to have it lit like that.
He's got a primitive form of a lightsaber.
Yeah. Funny enough, there's actually an interview with Orlando Bloom, and he said it was kind of like a lightsaber, but just on fire when he was filming that scene when they actually lit the sword up.
Yeah. Although saying that, you think that sword would break?
Yeah. I think it would burn the metal with the blade.
Yeah, or it would burn him as well. It's kind of funny that guy's got like a hammerhead shark head.
Yeah. I love Davy Jones as a villain. I think he's incredible. I love his story as well, but the way he looks and, Bill Nighy's performance is just awesome. I mean, we do have to wait an hour before we see him, but still. I mean, look how good that looks still to this day.
Is he supposed to be Scottish, Davy Jones?
Yeah. I think, he chose to do sort of a thick Scottish accent. He wanted to sound distinctive from everyone else in the cast, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I like how he's got like a crab pincer for a hand.
Yeah. Sort of got a calamari face.
To the dance. Oh, it's quite dark actually.
Life is cruel. Why should the afterlife be any different? I offer you a choice.
Join my crew.
Join my crew. Before the master.
I mean, my brother loves calamari, so we could just literally fry up his face and eat it.
Yeah, that's true. I do actually quite like calamari as well. It's a sort of a favourite when I go to a restaurant. But it's amazing the lengths they went to animate Davy Jones, because there's a scene later on when Will has to get the key, but his tentacles all have to like move individually, and I think that caused a nightmare for the animators. But they did it in the end.
Yeah. The CGI still holds up really well for a film that came out in 2006.
Jack is an arsehole for telling Will to do that. He didn't even really think it was going to work.
It's amazing how Davy Jones just like appears there for within a second. Like,
You've been captain of the Black Cloud for 13 years. Signed without agreement. Technically, I was only 2 years. Then you were a poor captain. You're not introduced yourself all these years.
Well, it wasn't even a captain because Barbosa took over.
Exactly. I don't know how Jack would have been able to find 100 souls in 3 days or something. I mean, does he actually in the end? I don't think he does. Oh no, yeah, because he says, "Oh, your soul is worth 100 souls," and obviously Jack dies at the end. So, oh yeah, I guess he does fulfill his debt.
Yeah. You know, I don't understand, Jack. Why couldn't he just go to Tortuga, Shanghai like 99 men, bring them aboard his ship, and just be like, there you go.
Well, I mean, I guess
Davy Jones.
they tried. Sorry. They tried to get people, but they only got 4 people.
Yeah. I do like the detail there, like the limpets or whatever on his hat.
Yeah,
well.
it's gross, but really, really well done.
Yeah.
Can you condemn an innocent man, a friend, to a lifetime of servitude in your name while you...
Yep, I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah, Jack Ripper's an asshole. He's like, will you let your friend, serve a life in servitude while you run free? Yeah, I'll do that. Jack really should have a bit more respect for Will.
Yeah. He's a dick, condemning an innocent man.
He's still lovable though. You can't help but love Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. You know what? He should just give all his crew to Davy Jones. He's like, there, I've already settled part of the debt.
True. But then again, if he wants to roam free, he'll need a crew for his ship, so I suppose that's why they go to Tortuga.
All they have to do is go to Tortuga, get all the men, and then the men that, left over, he could just use the crew to... Yeah.
God, this scene is hilarious. Can't believe these guys actually fall for it. They don't know that the dress is actually on wires.
Yeah. They are kind of idiots.
I guess it's kind of convenient how Elizabeth manages to make them go to Tortuga, and she conveniently finds Jack, Gibbs, and even Norrington there as well.
Yeah. It's kind of convenient as well how it lights up the lantern. It says Tortuga.
Yeah.
There it is. Here's the sign.
Oh, come on. That's not a distinctive man voice. Come on, Elizabeth. You can do that.
I know. It's just... How do they not know that that's the woman? Like, these pirates must be stupid. These sailors must be the biggest idiots ever. Like, I mean, she looks like a woman.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if they're stupid enough to believe an old dress is like this evil omen spirit, then they really must be fucking idiots.
I love all the people lining up. It's like they just get anybody, so they can sacrifice Davy Jones.
Do whatever they can.
We have one part of the left. It's the crow's nest.
The crow's nest.
Next, Switzerland was a little. The farmers wanted to sail the sea.
I mean, it's funny he's that compass because I mean it's pretty much useless apart from it can sort of tell you what you want somehow. Like I always find that a bit weird. Like sort of point to what you desire.
Yeah, which is weird. Funny how he says, "Oh, including those 4, that gives us 4." I mean, it is actually quite tragic how Norrington fell from grace. Really, he because of helping Jack, he too sort of fell from his post and he ruined his career and ended up as a drunk.
No, not.
Yeah.
Better hide Jack. Yep, that's it. Chooses to hide when he sees Norrington.
Yeah. Make yourself more obvious. Oh shit. I mean, he's kind of making himself more obvious with that flipping leaf. Those trying to cover himself.
I guess Norrington's kind of just a breaking point, isn't he? He'll even kill him. Or they'll just start fighting.
You know, this would give Jack the perfect opportunity to Shanghai them all. You know, all the guys knocked out, he could just bring aboard his ship. You know.
Yeah. Instead, they just choose to piss off and leave. Oh, convenient. It is convenient how Elizabeth just turns up.
Yeah, it is very convenient, and not only that, but it's just how can anyone? I mean, you look at her in that outfit; it's so obvious it's a woman trying to dress up as a man. Like it doesn't even. It's not even convincing. It just looks like a woman in a man's outfit.
I mean, at least Penelope Cruz in the 4th one actually put on a fake beard. You know, something like that would have just added a bit more to Elizabeth's disguise.
Yeah.
This is quite an amusing fight. Dun dun.
Come on then. Who wants that? For the ordinary line, I'll have you all one by one. Come on, who's first?
I just wanted the pleasure of doing that myself.
What? I don't know why they cheer. Like, surely they must think, like, oh, she's a woman. Like,
Yeah.
Keira Knightley's
That's
not.
a bit weird.
Keira Knightley's just not good at pretending to be men. Like, just vocally and physically, she can't disguise herself well enough, and she can't sound
I mean,
like
I'm-
a man enough.
I mean, at least if you're trying to be a man, try and deepen your voice. You know, she just talks the same.
Exactly.
Literally, he's ended up in the pig shit.
Oh yeah. Can't get any lower. Oh, I love this moment when he's playing the organ with his tentacles.
And it's kind of cheesy, but it's well done.
Music. He's a very tragic character, Davy Jones.
It must be weird having a flipping lobster claw.
Yeah, that must have been hard for him to get used to.
How does he write something with that giant lobster claw?
He must only be able to write with his tentacles. Oh yeah, this is a good scene when the father and son reunite.
Bootstraps.
Bootstraps.
Yeah, the thing is, Stellan Skarsgård looks nothing like Orlando Bloom. But,
Yeah, well, he certainly
yeah.
doesn't with all that makeup on.
It's quite hard for Bootstrap afterwards when he has to whip Will.
Yeah, it's quite an emotional scene actually. It is quite harrowing to watch. But it was either that
He
or
has to whip.
the bosun whipped him.
Yep. I don't get it. You know, like I would let the other guy just whip him. Like, why would you want to whip your own son?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, that's just gonna make your son hate you more. You'd think, you know, he would just let the other guy whip him. You know, just say, look, you know, because I mean, he can't get out of it. He's gonna have to. You know, the son is gonna have to be whipped anyway. So let the other guy do it. You know, make Will hate him.
Yeah, I think it's also because, like, he knows that if Bootstrap Bill does it, it will be easier on Will. But yeah, if the bosun did it, he would give him more than 5 lashes. I think. It's such an intense scene.
Oh, fucking hell! You would not want to be whipped.
Oh God, the sound as well. You can see in his face he hates doing it, but he is
We'll
evil.
just give him five whips.
Poor Will, he
Bloody
really is
hell.
going through the ringer in this film.
Bloody hell! Look at his back. Jesus.
Oof. Will goes through a lot in this film, and all because of Jack.
So I to understand. So I to compassion.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I didn't mean to, son. I bloody had to, you know. I had to whip your bollocks in.
I mean, if they were in their own house, then yeah, okay, maybe that would have been time to call social services when when the dad whips his own son. But you know, he was made to, and I think Will understands that.
It's kind of interesting. It's a starfish on his face.
Yeah, it's not Patrick Star, is it?
SpongeBob. Oh yeah, this guy always creeped me out. Is he a guy who just became part of the ship, or like?
I guess so, because he looks like his brain is sort of embedded into the wall.
Yeah. Great visual effects. Did it win an Oscar for visual effects?
I think it might have done, actually. I might check that.
It deserved one anyway.
Yeah, won an Oscar. Won an Oscar for Best Achievement Visual Effects. Yeah. Wow.
Well deserved.
Winning William Turner.
Hide the
That
run.
is funny.
I'm here to find the man I love.
A noble theft 20 years.
Darling, I am truly unhappy to tell you this one. Unfortunate and
Oh, God.
circumstances that have nothing whatsoever to do with me. Or will. Interest in Davy Jones's crew.
Of course, it had something to do with you.
Yeah.
Oh, please. The captain of the Flying Dutchman. You look bloody awful. You hired me to help improve standards of that. You smell.
So,
Well, I mean, did Norrington didn't see the undead army in the first one, did he?
I think he did actually, because him and his men actually went and fought them on the ship.
You want to find a way to save Will.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't understand why he couldn't buy into the idea of Davy Jones when he saw that.
Yeah. I think he just thinks Jack talks a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Norrington does look like he's up shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah, I mean, he's seen better days.
Yeah. He probably smells like shit as well.
How would we find it?
It's amazing how Norrington his journey is like a seesaw. In the first film, he's in a good place. The second film, he's in the worst place he's ever been. And in the third film, he becomes the admiral, and that's it.
Yeah.
Where does it put?
It's interesting we never really revisited his character after the third one.
Yeah, well, I guess because he died, so they couldn't do too much more. But
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that, actually, yeah.
it's crazy how actually both Will and Elizabeth are kind of duped by Jack in this film.
To save
Oh, yeah, in the third one, I think he got stabbed, didn't he?
What Will?
No, Norrington.
Oh yeah, Norrington. Yes, yeah, he was. There's actually Bootstrap Bill that kills him.
Yeah.
But I think Norrington
Yeah,
is.
Bootstrap Bill.
It's the game.
Yeah, like, what happened to him in the third one? Didn't he become, like, part of the ship and, like, it messed up his brain or something? Like,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, to the point where he actually kills Norrington.
yeah.
There's something to knowing the exact shape of the world and what's place in it. Don't you agree?
Beckett's death in the third one was powerful.
Oh yes, that was. I think that's a great moment. He just accepts defeat. I mean, you can see it. He's about to break down. He says, "It's just good business," and he just kind of walks through the destruction, and then that's it. That was a very powerful moment.
Yeah. Okay, interesting to see Jonathan Price's character without his wig.
Yeah. I guess they found out that he helped Elizabeth escape.
Well, as he would.
Yeah. It is very sad what happens to him in the third one.
Your authority is government.
Yeah. Does Beckett kill him? Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming so because Beckett ends up hanging a lot of people in the third one.
Yeah. I mean, you know when they see in the third one where he's on the boat, is that just a ghost that they see, or?
Yeah, when they
'Cause,
pass,
I mean, like,
when the Black Pearl passes through and sees the boats of the dead people, that he says he is dead because they're still in the world of Davy Jones' locker.
you know, but I think she throws like a rope and it hits the boat. His boat. You'd think she would just stop the boat, grab him, bring him back to the real world, but
Yeah, but I guess he was never gonna come aboard. Death doesn't work like that.
I mean, they brought Jack back when he was dead.
True, yeah, I suppose so. But they needed Jack because he had the one of the 9 pieces of 8. This is probably one of the best scenes of this film, actually. I think the dice game. Such a very intense scene.
Yeah.
Challenge Davy Jones.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
God, the effects are so good.
I said
I second that.
The stakes. My soul.
The way he just emphasizes every other word. The stakes.
You know what? I don't know why he would put his stakes on his soul. Like, you think he would start with something smaller, like, yeah, you can have whatever in my pockets. Like,
Yeah, a sword. That's it. Yeah. How do you know of the key?
the locksmith, mate.
You can still walk on.
Yeah. Davy Jones is going to mess with a blacksmith. Don't do that. Don't tease him like that. Show the key. Now he's going to know where
If
to. I
was Will, I'd just snatch it off him right there.
Yeah.
Jump off the ship. See you later.
What's this?
No.
Oh. Now that is a loving, caring father. He doesn't want to see his son go down like that and swear an oath to the Dutchman.
As you said, last hand nearly killed me.
Yeah. Four fours. And I don't really understand how this game works, but it is quite intriguing, actually.
4 5s. Seven, 5.
I think it's the highest number. That's how it's played.
Yeah, is it just like you have to bid the highest number? But I think it's called Liar's Dice. I'm not exactly sure like what there's the maximum they can sort of do.
Oh, bollocks.
8 5s.
He fucking lied.
Welcome to the crew.
He knew he was lying.
12 fives.
12 5s. And you're right. And be cold.
What did he say? How many 5s?
12.
A load of rubbish.
you're alive.
Bootstrap
You will
Bill.
spend an eternity on this ship.
Master Turner.
Master Turner.
Wasn't he already spending an eternity on this ship?
The best
True.
time we make.
But he did it so so Will wouldn't have to lose. But I mean, yeah, because he was already swearing an oath, so it wouldn't really make a difference to
Why did you do that?
Bootstrap Bill. Yeah, Bootstrap. It's only a game.
Yeah. No, wait. Are all the members of the crew serving eternity, or they like?
Well,
serve
yeah.
a number of years.
I guess they're serving as long as they have to. I suppose. Yeah, they're all sworn to serve Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Captain says I'm to relieve you. Captain's orders.
I like this bit. Will
Davy Jones.
Davy Jones. It's amazing how he actually manages to do this without waking him up. Slips through his tentacles. The key.
I try and stab that ball bag at the back of his head.
Yeah. I think when they filmed this, they attached some like blue sort of foam things underneath, like Bill Nye, to make it look like a beard. So Orlando Bloom was having to like literally fiddle through them to get the key. So obviously they just CGI'd, replaced it with the CGI, but it's quite amazing how he manages to do this.
Oh, bollocks.
That was close.
Did I get too close for comfort? They should have used that line with Calypso. Davy Jones says, "Oh, you made your bed."
Calypso, did I get too close for comfort? This is quite a nice scene, actually, when they say goodbye to each other, father and son. And then Will changes his priorities. So you know what? I'm gonna find the chest and save my dad. Good for you, Will.
Yeah. You know, he probably hates Jack now.
We're certainly not very happy with him.
Yeah. Who would be happy with them? I mean, you'd just be thinking, wow, prick stitched me up.
Yeah. It's funny, like when Jack and Will Norrington fight over the chest, they all have their reasons for why they want to do it. Jack wants to save his own skin, Will wants to save his dad, and Norrington wants to get his old job back. So
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom, he could just put more emotion into this.
Yeah. Not the best actor in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I do still love this film, but yeah, Orlando Bloom is a weak member of the cast. He's just a pretty boy.
Yeah. Like Brosnan.
Yeah.
We'll cut the back of the symbiote trading
Bloom was working for Beckett. He never said a word. Beckett wants the compass.
Well, there's a reason Will was working for Beckett, was because he was trying to save Elizabeth by handing over the compass.
Yes, he did say something about a chest.
If the company controls the chest, they control every mother's son calls himself.
Do you think that Jack actually sort of fancies Elizabeth?
Well, I mean, probably. Who wouldn't? I mean, Keira Knightley's smoked all.
Oh, yes. Because I think later on there's a scene when he says, like, oh, you know, I could perform a marriage on this deck, you know.
Full part. Commissioners of Province here on behalf of England.
Yeah. He probably does fancy her, but, like, you know, she's not interested.
Yeah.
Jack, the letter's given back.
No.
I'm surprised she's not more interested.
You do.
Surprised she's not more interested in Jack, because he's a pretty good looking guy.
Yeah, I suppose because he's a pirate. She doesn't really. She doesn't. I think she finds Will to be a bit more handsome.
I think Johnny Depp, 2 years is. I think he's going to be 60 in like 3 years. So I don't really. Yeah.
She's just
I
never
really
been
think he should like
to Norrington, you know.
Oh, that'll be absurd. I trust him, that's all.
never been what? Sorry.
She's never been attracted to Norrington. I don't think.
You never
Yeah.
wonder how your latest fiance ended up on the Flying Dutchman in the first place.
He's right though. Look closer to home, and you'll see Jack was the one that orchestrated all of this.
Yeah. I feel sorry for Norrington because his whole career and everything just got flushed down the loo.
Yeah, flushed down the toilet in the pigsty. But thankfully, he manages to get his redemption.
Strange thing to come upon a long boat so far out of the fast as you can. And what are we running?
Yeah.
There are some plot conveniences in this film, I must admit. Like the dress being one of them, like,
Where did you get it?
and how Will ends up conveniently on their ship.
The crew
You know,
started bringing some.
he could have ended up on any
Yeah,
world, and yet he ends up with these guys.
that is the thing with Pirates of the Caribbean. Sort of plot conveniences.
Yeah.
Unlike in this film. Yeah.
To be fair, I mean, I'll go with it. You know, this is meant to be just like a fun movie, so you know.
How do you ask?
The ship's been spotted.
Tell us.
She doesn't find any.
Well,
Oh, he's angry. You will fucking watch this.
up yours, Jones, you bastard.
They're a big fan of the whip, aren't they?
Yeah, they're quite kinky.
Oh, this is awesome. This first scene with the Kraken.
The Kraken.
The Kraken.
You, Jack, are a bit of a dick.
Don't be such a conspirator. Whoa. We haven't had an action scene for quite a while, so this is going to be nice. Whoa.
Whoa, shit.
This is awesome to see. The music is amazing for this bit as well. Every time the Kraken comes out, I love the soundtrack.
Didn't Jack kill the Kraken?
Yes. It's funny how they offer the dress up to the Kraken. I feel sorry for this crew though. Damn. And conveniently,
Flailed around.
yeah. And conveniently, Will survives.
Yeah, of course, because he's Will.
Yeah.
Plot convenience.
Yeah. I mean, the script made it so that he would survive.
Yeah. Everybody else gets wiped out, but Will, you know, he's untouchable.
Yeah. Amazing how Will instinctively knew to go to the top where the sort of sails and masts were. And then again, it wouldn't have made a lot of difference.
Why didn't he just go below deck?
Yeah. I mean, the whole ship's going to go down anyway, so. Oh, well.
Yeah.
That is pretty epic.
Music's good.
I think Gore Verbinski did a good job directing this film.
Whoa. It's dragging a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not too much longer, actually. I mean, it's been on for 1 hour, 37 minutes. So still a little bit to go. Perhaps it is a bit long, this film, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe the first few films could have been trimmed down to like 2 hours, but yeah.
Yeah, especially the third one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I enjoy all
Yeah, I
of them.
think yeah.
Oh, it's not here. He must be
play by the sea. I am.
I am this.
I think he sees that dress and he's just reminded of Calypso.
Oh yeah, there's a nice parallel, isn't it?
She always hated that dress anyway because of the corset.
Yeah, there are no survivors. He's merciless, Davy Jones. He'll just kill anyone. Jesus.
I mean, these guys probably had families, asshole.
Yeah. Just because you had your heart broken.
Yeah.
The chest is no
I really don't want them to bring him back for a sixth one. I think, he's fine in the second and third, but we don't need him back again.
Yeah, I mean, his story is kind of done.
Who told them of the king?
Yeah. I kind of like the fact with Pirates you get a new villain each time instead of just
Yeah, well, except for the third one. because it was a continuing story, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it took him that long to realize that it was Jack that sent Will onto the ship to get the key. I think he's like perving on Elizabeth in this scene.
Well, why wouldn't you perv on her? Don't know why he gave her the rum.
Mm-hmm. Is he?
They're probably trying to get her drunk and then bring her back to his cabin.
Yeah. So much for hide the rum.
Yeah. You're gonna have to hide your bum from Captain Jack Sparrow, Elizabeth.
Now. He's basically just asked to marry her.
I'm not. You're very much like you and I do.
Except for a sense of honour and decency and a moral sentiment and personal hygiene.
You will come over to my side, I know it.
You seem very
They do well with this scene, actually, these two.
Oh.
Actually, I think Keira Knightley is a bit better than Orlando Bloom in these films.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Will come?
American best works.
Because you know.
There was like a DVD, direct-to-DVD movie came out a few years ago with Orlando Bloom, where like Orlando Bloom was playing this Cockney, and Mark Hamill was just taking the piss out of it, like in Orlando Bloom.
Really?
Like, he had his like Cockney accent.
Yeah, he doesn't rate Orlando Bloom, does he?
No. Like he went on record though that he didn't really care for Keira Knightley in Pirates, but he went on record saying that thought she was quite a good actress, but yeah.
Yeah, just not in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I don't get why she's acting like this in this scene though. Like, it's like she's trying to flirt back with him as well. It's a bit weird. Elizabeth is written weirdly in this film.
Not only that, but she's already got a boyfriend. Like, well, it's just weird. Ooh.
Yeah, it gets a bit intimate. I mean, and then they make her leave Jack to die when the Kraken attacks them.
Yeah, she was gonna let Jack kiss him, but like he stopped himself. I think stopped myself.
Yeah, I think from now till the end, it's a bit. There's a bit more action in the film, which is good.
Yeah. Was she gonna seduce Jack so she could find out about Will? I don't know.
I suppose so. I imagine maybe that's what her motive was.
I'm not sorry.
Well, she finds out when later on, she says, "Oh, every word you said to me was a lie." Yeah. Norrington doesn't seem very surprised.
She's just a bitch in this film. No offense to her, but the way she like treats Jack.
Yeah. It's kind of sad how Norrington's ended up being Jack's slave. Well, I must say slave. His crewman.
Yeah.
This is the last place he'd want to be.
All right, Savvy.
Savvy.
This doesn't work. And it certainly doesn't show you what you want most.
Pointing towards Jack.
Yes, it does. You're sitting on
The pardon?
Well, Norrington loves his job.
It's interesting how he gets Davy Jones' heart and gives it to Beckett. Norrington.
Yeah.
Trust us to act in your stead. I'll trust you to know where which you should you fail.
Some of the CGI is a little dated. Like the hammer-haired guy looks a little bit dated, but
I don't think so, personally. But, yeah. Still pretty damn good.
No, it's good, but you just kind of tell it's a CGI character, the hammerhead shark guy, but yeah.
Why is he meditating? He's a weird one, Jack Sparrow.
He's a bit of an oddball, yeah.
I wonder when Jones actually buried his chest there.
Yeah.
Wonder whether it was 10 years prior to this, because he can only step on land once every 10 years. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that quite a lot. People are always surprised. With good reason.
Cool. He looks knackered. Norrington's
God.
How did you
Oh, yeah, of course he's not jealous.
a parent strapped to my feet?
You sort of noticed in this one that Norrington looks a little bit fatter.
Well, I mean, I suppose he's, given his situation, I'm not surprised he's let himself go.
What?
Yeah.
I was reunited with my father.
Oh. You're welcome then.
Oh, dear.
Every word was a lie.
Pretty much. Time and timeline. Oi. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm going to kill you.
Can't let you do that. Jones is dead.
Well, I don't understand. Why don't they just kill Jones? Because then Jack's debt would,
Yeah, but then they have to. Whoever kills him is in charge of ferrying souls to the next world and has to be a captain of the Dutchman forever until they die. So,
Well, Will was going to do it himself, so.
yeah. Jack only wants it just so he can use it against Jones.
Blackmail him.
Yeah.
So. I knew you'd warm up to me.
This is a good sword fight, I will admit.
Yeah. And considering it's the only sword fight of this film, it's pretty good. And the fact that there's 3 of them as well makes it a bit more creative, I think.
They do build up to it, and it is good.
It's very well choreographed.
It's kind of fun when this is all happening, like Elizabeth just mucks around with it.
And she's like, stop it! No!
It's kind of stupid to start fighting anyway. Like,
It is a bit stupid, which is, I suppose, why she reacts like this. She's like, why these three guys just suddenly start fighting over this little chest?
Well, the thing is, they're like fighting miles away from it. You'd think that one of them would just grab the chest and run away instead of fighting over it.
Which is what these two do as well.
Clunkers.
Yeah. I suppose they are a bit silly just to kind of like run away. Surely you think they grab the chest and then run, but no, they just run away and fight each other for the key.
Yeah.
We remove temptation.
If you think about it, I mean, it's a nice fight, but it's kind of pointless.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it adds more action to the film. The heat. I mean, it wouldn't be Pirates of the Caribbean without the good old sword fight.
Attention seeker.
She's just fed up. Fucker. This is so entertaining.
Oh.
I mean, where do you even begin to choreograph a sword fight between three guys?
I suppose Star Wars did it.
Yeah, I don't remember Star Wars ever doing a three-way fight, but yeah.
Oh no, they did. Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan.
Well, yeah, well, that was like 2 against 1, but obviously, like these three guys are like fighting each other. Still, no, I see your point. I mean, it only gets more epic when they go on the big wheel. Orlando, just work on your delivery of your lines, for God's sake.
It doesn't really emote.
Yeah. That is really good, actually, how they're balancing on the top of the ruins.
Props to the stuntman.
Yeah. The music is great as well. Jack is just tiptoeing across.
If I was Jack, I'd just push one of them off and.
Because, I mean, if he kicked Norrington, he could have taken Will down with him.
Excuse me, kill the man who ruined my life. Do my best. Let us examine that. Who was it? But at the very moment you the notorious pirate safely behind bars, saw fit to freeze said pirate and take your dearly beloved to yourself.
Jack's very good at turning it, like manipulating, putting all the blame.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Mr. Turner, he's right.
He's right.
Still rooting for you, mate.
He does like the turn it on his head, doesn't he?
Yeah. I suppose he's always been very good at that, hasn't he?
Like he just thing is he's a bit of a fool, but at the same time he's not really a fool because he's got these two fighting each other where he can slip away at the key.
Yeah, he's quite clever in that regard. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh God.
The keys just
Yeah,
dang.
in reality, I think he'd be dead, but
Yeah, it's Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, yeah, sure, you could argue the massive wheel is kind of ridiculous, but it makes for a pretty fun fight.
It's kind of stupid. Like they've got the chest, but like, what good is the chest without the key?
Yeah, that's true.
Hello, Puppet.
It's just surprised they did take the chest away when they did, because the Dutchman crew would have found it. But then again, the key, like Jack, I think has got the key. So yeah.
Uh-oh. The Davy Jones crew.
Just give her the swords.
But she's got the upper hand now. She can just like slice their heads off.
Yeah. I mean, they can't open the chest without the key, so they'll be all right.
You think they just get a stick of dynamite and blow it up that way?
Yeah. It's amazing how Norrington and Will were able to balance on the wheel for so long.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of ridiculous, but it's a Pirates film.
Yeah. It's just fun, isn't it? Amazing how 3 people can manage 2 swords.
Oh yeah, this guy gets his head knocked off.
Yeah. And he manages to get a bullseye.
I need to follow my voice. Follow my voice.
Kind of funny how he reattaches his head to the body.
Yeah. Oh, shut it. It's actually good, I suppose, for once that Jack doesn't succeed in this film. He does actually lose the heart, and Norrington succeeds, which I think is nice. It shows that Jack, obviously, for all his manipulation, can't always get what he wants. So, yeah.
You'd think he'd just stab the heart and have the whole Davy Jones. Well, yeah, he'd become the new Dutchman, I suppose. And he doesn't want that.
Yeah, he doesn't want that responsibility, and he could only step on land once every 10 years, which wouldn't do him any good.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Jar of dirt.
I'm surprised Keira Knightley's character stayed with
Will.
Elizabeth stayed with Will, considering the fact that he only steps on land once every 10 years. So that means, like, basically there's no point in them being together. Like, you think she just, save someone else instead of waiting for him once every 10 years?
Yeah, and then to have a kid as well. It's She must get pretty lonely on that island.
I never understand. Never could understand why he could just bring Elizabeth with him.
Yeah, that is one thing that they never explain. Surely Elizabeth could just go on the ship with him, but
Norrington's used to being washed up.
yeah. But Will seems to just be very much more dizzy than Norrington.
What is that? Oh, right. So we find
It's the letters of Mark. So Elizabeth stole from Beckett.
Well, he's got the heart now.
Yeah.
You know, when I first watched the film, I didn't know that Norrington had the heart.
Not until the very end.
Yeah. It's kind of obvious now, though, rewatching it.
Whoa. Jack just treats Will
Just
like a
knocks,
piece of shit in this film.
just knocks Will out.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, so they do just actually leave Norrington there. But it all works out in the end.
Here you go.
Here you go. I need to.
It's kind of funny. His body has a life of its own.
Yeah. I know we can just turn into a hermit crab as well.
Yeah, a bit weird, but yeah.
Almost at the end now. Will seems a bit shocked that Norrington's left.
Jack's been conned.
Yeah. It's Norrington's way of saying fuck you to Jack. I think the final sort of climax of this film is amazing. The ship battle and then the Kraken attack is really, really good, I think.
It's kind of funny how in the third one, Jones sort of becomes Beckett's bitch
Yes.
because he's got the heart.
That's the thing they say about Davy Jones. If you have his heart, you basically can control the ocean because he's at your disposal. So, because you can always threaten to kill him. So.
I'll do it.
Hard to stop it.
Flying Dutchman is a cool ship.
It is actually, yeah. Although it looks remarkably different when Will ends up captaining it in the end of the third film.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing. How many times has the Black Pearl been shot at? And, you know, the fact that it hasn't sunk by now, or, you know, I don't know how they repair it so well in all the films, but, yeah.
Yeah. Especially in this film, because obviously it takes quite a beating, and then the Kraken destroys most of it, and then in the third film when they find Jack in the locker, it's all good again.
They never really explain that. Yeah. Parlay.
Against the wind, the Dutchman beats the stacks as she takes her prey. With the wind, we go for advantage.
Yes, Will, you'd know if you read the script.
We're giving up.
Yeah, interesting. He's got one eye where your eyes usually are, and the other eye's like on the end of the hammerhead.
For your eyes only.
was on that ship.
Oh god, can you imagine that parrot? It's like the parrot. It's like the same one from For Your Eyes Only. It's like starts talking to Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah. Give us a kiss. Yeah, Max the parrot. Oh. Lost his jar of dirt.
He must have known straight away that there was no heart.
Yeah.
How did he not know when that jar smashed? Like, he saw nothing in it. He must have known, right, the heart isn't there.
Yeah. He realised when that Norrington had taken it. It's weird that Will just suddenly takes command. I guess in a way it's his way of saying fuck you to Jack, saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this, you know, you don't give a shit, you're gonna run away. I'll do it. Yeah.
That's true.
Oh dear.
I think is it this film or the next one where they like load the guns with like forks and things like that?
Yeah, I don't know, unless that's the first one. It might be. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think I remember they put like forks and all this stuff into the cannons, like fire with everything you got.
I know the third one, they put the monkey in the cannon.
Yeah. The Kraken.
It's an absolute
Oh,
crap.
This part's pretty stupid if they think that's the end of the Kraken.
Yeah. Plus, the lifeboats are destroyed, so, you know, they can't really get out off the ship.
There wouldn't be much point getting in the lifeboats anyway, because the Kraken would just destroy them before they.
So, you can just tell that Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley don't have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, the
They're just
first
kind
one,
of a couple.
yeah.
They're just kind of a couple because they're both hot, and that's why. Like the
Exactly.
producers, the producers were just like, oh, both of them are pretty good looking. Let's just make them a couple.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they're a couple.
Yeah. Oh dear, the Kraken's coming back. Oh dear. That's not good, Jack. That's not good. No. Don't row away.
Yep, abandoned ship again.
What's he going to do? Just live on the island for God knows how long?
She calls him a coward, but yeah, of course he is. He's fucking Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. He does come back
I mean-
in the end, but then she leaves him to die, so she's a hypocrite, really.
Yeah.
You know, pot kettle black as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, she really is a bitch in this film.
I think just, yeah, definitely towards the end, when she leaves him to die, it's like, what the fuck? That's a bit extreme.
Yeah. And then she says, I'm not sorry. She kisses him and then she says, I'm not sorry. Oh, you're not sorry you're going to, like, let this guy die. Sacrifice him to this Kraken.
Ooh. We're almost there. Oh, this is quite a long film.
Yeah, I mean, it probably didn't need to be 2.5 hours, but...
Yeah. Then again, all the Pirates films are quite long.
Yeah. Well, if it was me, I'd probably cut down the Pirates films to like 2 hours, but most of them anyway. It is dragging a bit.
Well, we're nearly at the end now, so I mean, we're basically at the final climax.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, we've got 22 minutes left.
I mean, the third one's even longer. So.
Yeah, third one's too long. I think this one's a bit too long as well, but yeah.
Elizabeth.
Dude. Not great. You had to wait, didn't you, Elizabeth? You had to wait.
Yeah, just lining up my aim. Ah! Yeah.
The music's great.
Oh yeah, one of the best pieces of music of the film when the Kraken.
It's great that Jack came back.
I probably just followed the bullet as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, you got a lot of fried calamari now.
Yeah, I think the word overcooked comes to mind. Well, the ship's basically in a wreck.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Just made it angry. We're not out of this yet. Order! Grab the ship. Dad. Her.
He's right, we have to look around.
She's a real bitch. You know, he came back and he like saved their asses, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna sacrifice you to the Kraken."
Yeah. I mean, yeah, her reason was like, obviously, oh yeah, the ship is, you know, it's after you, you know, not us. You know, she did it because it was the only way to save their lives, but at the same time, it's a bitch move because she essentially is responsible for him dying. So it's just, I think if it was written differently, then perhaps it might have been better.
Not only that, but she, you know, he comes back, he saves their lives, and then she like, you know, she handcuffs him to the boat or whatever, and she says, you know, "Oh, I'm not sorry." It's the fact you said "I'm not sorry" after you condemn this man to his death. You know.
Yeah. But I think Jack actually doesn't. He just kind of accepts it. I mean, look his reaction. Look.
It's like he doesn't even care.
It's like he's confused. It's like, what? I'd be angry.
Yeah, you'd be like, "What the fuck, Elizabeth? You know, you're kissing him. You know."
I think Jack just kind of thinks, oh wow, she really is a pirate. She deceived me, chained me up.
Yeah. Bitch. You fucking cunt.
Yeah, pirate.
If like she's so close to his face, if I was Jack, I'd have headbutted her.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Get off my ship, you bitch. I don't even think. I think he's quite impressed actually that she was able to do that. But yeah, I'm sure deep down he's like, "Fuck, I have to get off this ship."
Look, he's still behind us.
she is an absolute bitch.
Isn't it weird how in the third one Jack doesn't really say much to her afterwards. He just says, you know, 4 of you tried to kill me, but 1 of you succeeded. Afterwards, he doesn't like. She never says sorry to him for that or anything. Like they just kind of forget about it.
I know it's ridiculous. If I was Jack, I'd want her dead. I'd be like, you killed me. Like,
Yeah, fair's fair.
yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. Yeah, she should have said sorry to him in World's End. Like, sorry, I killed you.
Yeah. Sorry, I killed you. It was nothing personal.
But she said, just the way she says, oh, I'm not sorry. I mean, it's just such a, shitty thing to say, like condemning this guy to his death.
It's a smart idea, actually, using the oil to get out of the handcuff.
Unfortunately, it's too late at that point.
Yeah. Okay, maybe this CGI is a bit dated, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, when
If I was Jack, I'd just jump overboard, jump off the ship. Ugh, that's disgusting. Like the mucus coming out of its mouth.
suppose he would have jumped straight for the Kraken then, really, because the Kraken would have still been able to get him from underwater.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Like all the fucking mucus on him. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And the hat as well.
Ugh. It's just sick.
Hello, beastie. It's quite bold, actually.
Yeah, CGI is a bit dated there. Yeah.
Bold to kill off your main character in the second film. This was a real shock to the audience.
Yeah. But you kind of knew that he was going to come back because he's the main character.
Oh, of course, but yeah, at the time it was like, oh, it's just killed off Jack Sparrow. Oh, damn.
What a bitch. What an absolute bitch.
Yeah, and then she's like crying over him. Yeah, I like to think that's her guilt of what she did, but yeah, she's just crocodile tears.
Yeah.
In a way, she helped him. She helped him pay his debt. Bless her. Bless her heart.
Open it. The thing is, he finds out that
It wasn't there. He must have had his doubts from the beginning, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know why he's like calling out his name, damn you, Jack Sparrow. I mean, he's dead. It's obvious he doesn't have the heart,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anyway, even if he had the heart,
I mean, he knows that Jack went looking for it, so I suppose that's why he just thought, well, it was all Jack's fault,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was interesting. I suppose it made sense, the fact that they were told to do 2 movies back to back to have them be kind of a 2-part story. I guess it made sense to do that.
Yeah.
So this cliffhanger ending is sort of quite a surprising way to end the film, but a good way.
Yeah. He's got his own heart, mate.
If I only had a heart. Du-du-du-du-du-du.
Why don't you get the Tin Man, Davy Jones's heart? Go around killing people.
Yeah. Oh. Davy Jones may as well be made of bloody tin.
Yeah.
And we're at the last scene where they grieve for Jack, even though I don't think Will's too upset, but he's still a bit shocked.
Elizabeth's such a bitch. Absolute bitch.
It's a bit disrespectful to Tear Downer. He's just like throwing a knife in a table.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're all looking at her like, you were the one that left him to die, you bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yet she complains about 3 guys fighting over a chest. Well, that's hardly nothing compared to what she did.
Yeah. Literally condemned a man to his own death.
Mm.
Pearl's gone.
The pearl's gone.
Fool us all right from the end. I guess that honest street.
Oh, God. Is she crying? I mean, crocodile tears.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what does she care?
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Yeah, but not good enough that you had to kill him.
And even the way she said that, oh, he was a good man. Like, you don't give a shit, you know. You don't give an absolute crud that you killed him.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell she's guilty, but I mean, why should like she get away with it? Like, why would Will just say, "Well, what if we try and get him back?" Why doesn't he call her out on it? But he waits until the next film to do that, which is weird.
You know, you'd think he said, like, why were you kissing him? What was going on there? He doesn't even question her, you know.
Yeah. The ends of the earth. Huh. I do like this last scene.
I'm on to they said, nope, he can stay dead, you know. We're going to go
Okay.
back to our ordinary lives.
Fuck him, we've had enough of him. Ryan!
Yes. God.
Even Will agrees to it.
And Jack fucked him over.
Yeah. We're intended. Well, in a way, Jack did lead him back to his dad, but still, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the reveal of Captain Barbosa.
Oh, so glad he came back.
Thank God they decided to
Jeffrey
bring him back to life.
Yeah, Jeffrey Rush for me is easily the best out of all the characters. With Barbosa.
Yeah.
It just bites into the apple.
What a reveal. That was great. I mean, I personally really enjoyed that. But you may disagree.
No, I thought it was good, but it's not my favourite by any stretch. But
I mean,
I
at least
like all the
the
Batman
ending.
films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the ending gave us promise for the third one. We knew that Barbosa was back and he was going to be helping them. So, I mean, technically, this is like half of the film. So, but I still really enjoyed what it was.
No, I think it's a decent film. You know, it's my least favorite of the franchise, but you know, I don't hate any of the Pirates films. You know, they all range from good to great.
I mean, there's a lot of great things in here. I think the action in the film is brilliant. All the stuff on Cannibal Island is well done. The Kraken scenes are amazing. The 3-way sword duel on the big wheel is quite a spectacle. All the stuff with Davy Jones is brilliant. The visual effects are just so good, and the stuff with Will and his father is good. Johnny Depp is good as Jack Sparrow, and his death is pretty sad, I suppose. Yeah, the film's a bit long. Perhaps it could have been chopped down a bit, but I really enjoyed it, and I liked them that they brought back Norrington as well. And I mean, yes, Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley are a little weak, but you know they weren't really in that good in the first one. But you know, and Tom Hollander is Beckett as well. He's not in it much, but when he's there, he's pretty damn good. And same with Naomi Harris. When they're there, they're good in their respective scenes. But yeah, I really enjoyed Dead Man's Chest. It's a great film, and the cliffhanger ending is very good, and I like the way it's set up the third one. So yeah, I mean, I love the film.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
I mean, perhaps my rating, I may not rate it a 10. I think that would be generous. I think I might bump it down to a 9. Probably give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think it's a decent film. I mean, I don't love it or anything, but you know, it's a good film. Some good action sequences. I do think it drags a bit, but it's still, you know, a good film. I just think I prefer some of the others in the franchise. I think there are filler elements in it. For me, it's a bit of a filler film, but it's not bad. You know, I can watch it and enjoy it. So yeah, I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10. But yeah,
fair enough. I understand your criticisms. Oh, yeah, also I forgot to mention that the soundtrack by Hans Zimmer is also incredible, as always. But yeah, that's Dead Man's Chest.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, no, I've said all I wanted to say. Really, I was just going to let you speak.
No, I just said I agree about the Hans Zimmer soundtrack. That's all.
Yeah, I will agree about Elizabeth. That ending is a bit. It does paint her out to be a bit of a bitch, which is annoying. And it is like, I get why she did it, but it's the fact that she reacts in the way she does afterwards, like she's now suddenly all very guilty about it. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. And then no one seems to question her about it much until the third film. Even then, they don't question it much. Will mentions it to her, and then afterwards, they don't talk about it anymore. So yeah, it was almost kind of a waste, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it for Dead Man's Chest, though. I don't think there's a huge amount more to say, and the credits are rolling, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Please all let us know what you think of Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Any particular favourite moments of the film? Do get a discussion going down below. I think we'll probably be finishing up soon with this. I'll just wait for Jack and see if he's going to come back in a minute. I don't want to end this without...
No, I'm here. I just went to the DVD menu.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no worries. Well, credits are sort of continuing to roll on my one, so I think we'll call it there. But yeah, unless there's anything you want to say, Jack, before we finish.
No, not really. Just enjoy the commentary.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It's nice to do one of these again, and yeah, thank you, viewers, for listening and watching, and stay tuned next time when we do another audio commentary on something. We haven't decided yet, but I'm sure we will find something to do a commentary on. But yes, and thank you very much, Jack, for coming on board. And yeah, take care, everyone. Good night. Ended the broadcast.